The definition of stupid is doing something that hurts yourself while hurting others. This could not be more stupid.
This is the biggest policy mistake in 95 years.
It's the art of stupidity.
Just the obsession with tariffs and the craziness and incompetence can be bad for everybody.
Extra dollars for American products, or we are getting screwed by the great and powerful people of Madagascar? It makes 0 sense. It literally has nothing to do with the actual tariff rate.
He is a clever and cautious man.
The golden age of America begins right now.
Since Trump began his second term, American global leadership has already suffered more damage than in the previous several decades combined. What we're witnessing isn't just politics as usual. It's the deliberate dismantling of over 75 years of American geopolitical dominance. And the scariest part? Most Americans haven't even noticed what's happening yet.
At Bretton Woods, New Hampshire.
After World War II, America created something unprecedented in human history, a global system where it would essentially pay other countries to follow its lead. The Bretton Woods institutions, the IMF, World Bank, and eventually the WTO, form the economic backbone of this system, while NATO provided the military shield. America essentially offered the world a deal. Follow our rules and we'll provide security guarantees, access to our massive consumer market, and technological innovation. We'll defend shipping lanes, maintain currency stability, and help rebuild after disasters. This wasn't pure altruism. It gave America unprecedented influence, kept potential rivals in check, and created immense prosperity at home. For decades, this system weathered challenges and criticism, but remained fundamentally intact. American leadership, while imperfect, maintained a predictable global environment where cooperation was valued over conflict. Countries could count on America keeping its word.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold.
Well, mostly. In a moment that Jon Stewart brilliantly compared to professional wrestler John Cena's shocking heel turn when a good guy suddenly becomes a villain, President Trump essentially abandoned Ukraine's President Zelensky in favor of Vladimir Putin. The scene played out in the Oval Office in March of 2025, with Zelensky pleading for America's continued support against Russia's invasion. Rather than standing with a democratic ally under attack, Trump effectively sided with the aggressor, suggesting Ukraine should cede territory to Russia to end the conflict. This wasn't just a policy disagreement. It was a fundamental betrayal of a nation fighting for its survival against an authoritarian invader. What makes this particularly devastating is how it signals to the world that American commitments are ephemeral, lasting only until the next election cycle. If you're a smaller nation counting on American protection, you've just received a chilling message. You're on your own.
If we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay.
NATO, the military alliance that has maintained European security for over 70 years, is being hollowed out from within. Trump has openly questioned whether the U.S. would honor Article 5, the mutual defense provision that forms the alliance's very foundation.
If the United States was in trouble and we called them, we said, we got a problem. France, we got a problem. A couple of others I won't mention. Do you think they're going to come and protect us? They're supposed to. I'm not so sure.
Trump apparently forgets that NATO allies did exactly that after 9/11, the only time Article 5 has ever been invoked. And by the way, who even knows what he believes about 9/11? Adding to this uncertainty, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced the U.S. would not participate in any peacekeeping force in Ukraine and wouldn't defend any country that did so if attacked by Russia. This effectively gives Putin a green light to expand his sphere of influence without American interference. The message to allies is clear. America's commitment to mutual defense is now conditional and unpredictable. Countries like Denmark and Canada have faced direct threats over unrelated issues like Greenland and trade policies. With American security guarantees now viewed as unreliable many nations are quietly developing independent defense capabilities or seeking new alliances, fundamentally reshaping the global security landscape. If undermining security alliances wasn't enough, Trump has dropped an economic bomb that threatens the entire global trading system. His administration has implemented sweeping reciprocal tariffs that will impact virtually every trading partner. These tariffs are staggering in scope. And not only that, they are changed frequently and applied arbitrarily, further destroying trust in American leadership and global goodwill towards the United States. Despite being labeled reciprocal, these rates bear little resemblance to actual tariff policies of these nations. The economic consequences are profound. American consumers will pay higher prices for everything from electronics to clothing. Supply chains that took decades to optimize have been disrupted overnight, and the retaliatory tariffs that will inevitably follow will hammer American exporters. But the deeper damage is to the rules-based trading system America itself created. By unilaterally imposing punitive tariffs outside established WTO processes, America is essentially declaring the end of cooperative global trade norms. Countries that structured their entire economies around access to American markets are now scrambling to find alternatives. The damage isn't limited to foreign policy. Trump's domestic actions are undermining America's greatest competitive advantage, its ability to attract the world's best talent. The administration has conducted mass deportations by using new interpretations of very old laws and in apparent defiance of a court order, including sending detainees to El Salvador. Officials have characterized these as joint military operations targeting murderers and notorious criminals, terminology that creates a chilling effect on all immigration. Then there are also the arrests of students, the denial of visas based on social media activity, and even reports of extended arbitrary detentions of tourists who are held in miserable conditions for days or weeks before being released. Simultaneously, Trump has fired 17 independent inspectors general, all Democratic members of the Privacy and Civil Liberties Oversight Board, and over 160 members of the National Security Council. These unprecedented purges, combined with the placement of loyalists in the FBI and Justice Department, have created an atmosphere of political repression that sends talented immigrants looking elsewhere.
What?
America's universities and research institutions, long the envy of the world, are feeling the chill as international students and scholars reconsider their plans. The innovation ecosystem that has powered American economic dominance requires global talent that's now having second thoughts. What we're witnessing isn't just a policy shift, it's the deliberate dismantling of America's global leadership role. The security guarantees, economic structures, and values promotion that defined American power for generations are being abandoned with breathtaking speed. The question isn't whether American global influence is declining, it clearly is. The question is what will replace it, and whether Americans are prepared for a world where they no longer set the rules. Because that world is arriving faster than anyone expected.